Adult movie usage is down 47% since the introduction of the Online Safety Act. But not in my house, it's not. All I did was download Surfshark for less than the price of a coffee a month, and trust me, that is more than paid for itself. 10 times over. Honestly, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I just click on Surfshark on my phone, click on I'm now in America, and then I don't have to do all of this, enter your age, enter your ID. I don't want to send a picture of myself, I just want to see some big boobs. But whatever you're into, Surfshark has got you covered, and it is the easiest app to use ever created. And also, if you want to watch boxing and football, this app is going to come in handy. You know exactly what I'm on about. And it works on all of your devices, so what the hell are you waiting for, lads? Just click the link in the description below, go to surfshark.com/kickoff, and you can get the ultimate game changer for your everyday entertainment in Surfshark for less than the price of a coffee a month. And that includes 4 extra months of Surfshark when you use my link. So not only are you having a good time, you're helping us keep the lights on and make more good content for you. This is a no-brainer. It's a win-win. So do me a favour, get on it. Welcome back to the kickoff. We're going to do a weekend review today because a lot has been happening, but we're going to start with Manchester United, who lost at home to Everton after Everton mentally got a player sent off for striking his own player 80 minutes before the final whistle. 80 minutes against 10 men, KG. How on earth could your lads not get the job done?
I love how you schedule these. I think there's gotta be, it feels like witchcraft. I'm gonna be like the Nigerian manager and blame voodoo because somehow, look at what's going on. It's a perfect week for you and it's the shittest situation for me. I'm sitting here, we were together not too long ago, and now I'm sitting here, first game back, seeing my team, 10 men. When that slap happened, I was over the moon. I said, look how stupid they are. He's killed it for them. He's ruined it. And with 10 men, they got better. Started out playing us. And now I'm looking, and I said in this game, don't know what too long, I said, we cannot lose this game because of the situation. You're not allowed to lose against 10 men at home. This is up there with Grimsby. Grimsby's worse because where is Grimsby? But the fact that we lost in that way to Moise.
Sorry to say again, it's Moise.
Should you have got rid of him? That's the question. Do you know what I mean? Like, he probably would have done a pretty good job in the last 5-6 years.
I wonder in an alternate universe if Man United had have ridden out the storm with Moyes and given him a chance to rebuild. I bet you the last 10 years would have been better.
Are you not taking a piss? Is this a sick joke?
Because they've been that bad. I'm just saying. It's not. No,
let's not do this. Let's not rewrite history. We saw what Moyes looked like. You remember the picture of him at his desk with the mouse pad, and then it's like, what do you call it? I'm out of my depth.
Well, your lot only managed 6 shots at home against 10 men for 80 minutes. By the 95th minute, they'd been 80 minutes against 10 men. I think it is worse than Grimsby because you've had even more time with your new signings. You've had even more time to gel, and the manager looked out of ideas. The fact that, and the Drewsbury Hall goal, the defending for that, Man United fans bang on about Euro as if he's the second coming.
It was a shocker. Let's be honest. It was a shocker in terms of Euro is a good defender. He was really bad in that moment. I can't lie. Like, Drewsbury Hall, the skip past him, but there was a lot that was getting wrong. Bruno was crap. The whole team was shit. The manager was shit. Like,
why did he stay with three at the back when you're playing, when you're losing for that long?
That's not the,
what are you considering? You trying to conserve it to 1-0?
Casemiro, holding midfielder, 5 defenders. Come on, man.
That's not exactly. Let's get into the 3 at the back can happen. It's the wing backs, guys. We needed to put on attacking players in those positions, especially if they're penning them back. I can't believe, we didn't make that Mason Mount change earlier because you could see now, it felt like Everton was holding on when we got into that second half. But it should happen time ago. As soon as you saw, we got the advantage. And the issue is we haven't got the talent as well because when you take off Dorgu for Delo, have you upgraded? Like, when you take off, you've moved Ahmad into that wing-back position, but you didn't the manager failed yesterday. Let's call it that. The manager failed, the team failed, and I do believe there was that feeling of we could be higher, we could be in the top 4 in this game, and then man bottled it. Honestly, I felt they started to think of aspirations of being serious, a rule, because the manager mentioned, he said, we saw the fixtures, we saw the results. How do we turn up and do this? It's on everyone like that. That was a terrible day at the office, but the fact that at home, embarrassing.
Amorim, for me, that was one of those games where lately he's been building up a bit of momentum, and there has been a bit of hope from the Man United fans. 5 games without a defeat. And now I'm looking at him going, but that's why you're not the man. Any manager, any good manager, 100% at least draws the game, if not wins the game. Like, you should win that game. To come away with a loss in a game like that, I think it's just like every Man United fan who's got hope for Amorim, that's the reality check, isn't it?
Well, I think it's going, I don't want to be up and down in terms of, because we could win our next good game and it's like, yeah, he's great again. I just think I think we're going to be this. Up and down. We're going to be this, and we have to stay.
You know why, though? Can I say why that is, though? It's because the wins that you've had are down to individual brilliance and not Amorim's coaching, not Amorim's system. That's why you don't have consistency, because players
we suffocate teams. No, I would disagree. We've suffocated teams. We made it hard. Like, we've been hard to play against. It's not just been, I've noticed times of individual brilliance, definitely, but I think even down to the patterns and how we are breaking teams down, I think I've seen good things that I like, and I've seen things that remind me of why we finished 15th.
Yeah, but KG, the problem I think you've got is you've got a manager who wants to play like you're 15th. You're great in big games because, like you say, you suffocate teams. You play 5 defenders. You're Man United. You have to be able to beat a 10-man Everton at home. And that applies to most of your games. Like, the Premier League table, look at it. There are European places up for grabs this season. There are the big six that we all think of. They're not good this year. There's spots for you. Like, you've got the talent. Just for example, spent the money. Mbumu, Cunha, you've got the players.
Yeah. Newcastle tried to sign those 3. Newcastle wanted Cunha, Mbumu, and Sesko. You beat us to all 3 of them. Yeah. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be finishing higher this season.
No.
Well, and again,
but it's crucial tactics, KG. Like, you suit games where the team's better than you. Like, I don't want to play Man United. Man City don't like playing. Like, all the big teams have, like, sometimes they'll blow you away. There are times, though, where you look spirited, you look like you're going to concentrate, and you can make games difficult. But that's not the Premier League for you. The Premier League for you is beating Everton at home. All of these teams you should be beating. And, like, as a fan base, you have to realise he's not the guy.
He's a one-trick pony, man.
I'm going to say, because it's finally, I feel like we're on this journey with this manager, and he has to see it out. I feel like we just have to see out this journey. Honestly,
it's not an apprenticeship, though, man. We can't be treating Manchester United's managerial role, in my opinion, as an apprenticeship where he figures out how to actually beat teams that should be beaten instead of setting up in such a negative way a lot of the time. We can't stay on them. We've got to do other games. Liverpool, bloody hell. We're talking these really need a kick in this lot, and I've got to admit, I can't sit there and not enjoy it. You know what I mean? The way they went on. No, the way they went on. Sometimes I've got to give credit to Man City fans in a way, because they weren't that unbearable considering how many league titles they won. They weren't that unbearable. One league title, Liverpool fans, it went to their head. And it's a bit of karma, especially for one player. But let's look at where they are in the league. 12th in the league right now, 11 points behind Arsenal. They're out of the title race already. It's not even December. Pathetic. As title defences go, this is one of the worst we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Pumped 3-0 at home by Forest. Should have been 4 if it wasn't for the corrupt referees ruling a perfectly good goal for a handball that never was. We've got to give credit to Sean Dyche, because what a fucking job he's done to turn around the shambles left behind by Big Ange. 6 defeats in their last 7 league games, and the only teams who have lost more than Liverpool are the bottom 4. And when you look at the games that they won, all of those late goals, 88 minutes, 90 plus 10 against Newcastle, all of those late goals, they would now be sitting in 19th if they hadn't have won those 4 games with late goals. Alexander Isak, the first Liverpool player in Premier League history to end on the losing side in each of his first 4 starts for Liverpool. No goals in the league for Isak from open play in 223 days. That's 7 months and 13 days for the British record transfer fee. Same old problems for Alexander Isak. And Wirtz, no goals, no assists either. Could it be going any worse for Liverpool, lads?
If they hadn't have had that red hot start to the season, and let's remember, by the way, every pundit was saying they're going to win it again after 6 games, right? But if they hadn't have had that red hot start, where would they be? I mean, I've got to be honest, like, I think they could keep getting worse. I really do. I don't see how this picks up for them.
Is he going to get sacked? Like, because I hear a lot of people saying about it, and I hear a lot of people saying, oh, he's got grace because he's won the title last season. They look so good. I think they've looked so bad that you just forget about last season. I think you've got to completely rewrite the history. You were talking about worst champions in history, Brian, just then, right? Do you know where the worst champions in history finished in the league?
Was it Chelsea?
No, it was Leicester. They finished 2 places below Chelsea. They finished 12th after sacking Claudio Ranieri.
Can I give credit though? Because Leicester had a good excuse. They lost Mahrez. They lost Kante. Like, you haven't lost anyone. You've gained 500 fucking million pounds worth of players, and they're doing nothing for you. Like, and Alexander Isak, what a fucking prick he is. Honestly, I love his downfall.
He messed up. You can clearly see, and he does, it's almost karma. This almost does feel like karma, really, because it doesn't make sense. It feels like he's been space jammed. This man's talent is no longer there. And
isn't that though, KG? He has done this to himself. If he had just continued, here's the thing: Alexander Isak has had fitness problems since the dawn of time, and Newcastle very carefully managed him. Eddie Howe looked after him really well, but also trained him to be the fittest version of himself. And in that summer, when he sat with his thumb up his arse on the couch, right, he let himself go to wreck and ruin. And a lot of the people at the training ground watching his individual training session said it was pathetic, right? So he himself allowed himself to turn up on a British record transfer fee move to Liverpool that he had forced in an unfit state. Yeah. And he hadn't, looked after himself. So you reap what you sow, but not only that, Arne Slot deserves to take, a little bit of the blame here, because as good as Isak is, right, if you look at the goals he scores, yes, occasionally he'll whack one from 25 yards or, he'll dribble through. But realistically, he's playing on the last shoulder. And in Newcastle, in a lot of games, we were playing teams who thought they could beat us. So we weren't playing low blocks everywhere. But when we did play a low block, everyone in the Newcastle fan base said, Isak is pretty useless in these games. If you looked at him at the back end of last season, this stretches, and this is where Liverpool fans should be worried. This run of form from Isak stretches all the way back to April, where he last scored from open play, because his form dropped off a cliff then. And because Newcastle were really building up the momentum, so teams were sitting in deep. He isn't good at that. He needs space, and most of all, he needs service. And actually, to be fair to him, the one thing you can say is Gakpo and Mo Salah trying to be the main man, which we've called, out a lot. That is not going to get the best out of him either. And guess what else isn't going to get the best out of him? Having a player who's clearly better than him in the Liverpool squad, who was benched for that game. Arne Slot deserves pressure for that as well, because if a player is not performing, have the balls to play the player who clearly is better.
Ekitike's gone backwards. He's not ripping up any trees as well. Now he's he's not in the team, and it's synergy.
How can he though, if he can't get consistency in if you're pulling him out when he's on form, how is that going to benefit him? Let him.
Yeah.
So, do you think he sat there on the bench? Do you think he's regretting it? Like, do you think Ekitike sat there and just like, why have I come here? I've made a huge mistake. He must have
not known. No, I mean, I'm one day I hope that someone actually tells us what happened in that transfer window. There is no way that Ekitike came there knowing they were going to do the Isak move. There is no way that they planned that summer to do Ekitike and then Isak. Like, and we're blaming Arne Slot. I do think Michael Edwards and the rest of that sort of director team at Liverpool who do recruitment, who've done it so well for so long, by the way. For so long, Liverpool were held up as they do recruitment smart. They sell well. They buy well. This is a mess. This is an absolute... And to a certain point, I do feel for Slot a little bit, because it's like he's been given this squad. I don't...
You feel for someone that spent 450 million. He can't. What do you feel? Well, that's that feeling for him.
KG, what was it spent on? He's got 3 centre backs. The full backs don't work.
He bought Frimpong. He bought everything.
Yeah, but we do this with every other club. We say, was it the manager who bought them or was it the sport? Don't get me wrong.
He clearly had an input, though, surely.
He clearly had an input. We also know that Michael Edwards will overrule a manager sometimes. For example, we know that Klopp wanted Julian Brandt rather than Salah. So I do think there has to be a little bit of blame apportioned to them as well. I will say with Slot, I don't think he's managing Ekitike properly. The big one for me, this Szoboszlai right back.
Exactly.
He's their best player.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Shambolic, mate, especially when you've signed right backs. And another thing I think we need to point the finger at is Virgil van Dijk. He acted like a right prick to Wayne Rooney the other week in that interview.
Good.
And I look at him now, and to be honest, I think you're not playing against Wayne Rooney in his prime this season because he would have fucking skinned you alive, by the way. But to see the shambles that Liverpool have turned into, and another thing that Liverpool did in the summer, the way they conducted themselves, in the transfer window, I think revealed a lot about how they see themselves and how they see other football clubs. They don't treat other football clubs with any respect whatsoever. They have got no problem in fucking ruining everything you've got going in. And I get all's fair in love and war, but let's not act like Liverpool are some classy club, right? Because they're not.
Well, look how they acted with Trent.
And the Gahey transfer, the way they played that Gahey transfer, they let it run down to the final seconds because they're trying to take as much money away from handing over to Crystal Palace as possible. They fucked themselves. They shouldn't have done that. If they'd conducted themselves with a bit of class and a bit more decency, they would have got that lad in well in advance, and they wouldn't be in such a bad situation now defensively. They've conceded 20 goals to Arsenal 6.
20 goals. That is, and they owe the league, like, I think -2 in the goal difference.
Yep.
It's incredible. We're talking about the champions. Like, I never believed if we put Liverpool outside the top 4, we all would have been slated. Just imagine when we done the prediction and we said, I don't think Liverpool finish in the top 4, because it doesn't make sense. And that's how bad it is.
They're still being Premier League, the graphics they put out, they're still being the big 3. They're putting them in the big 3. I'm like, mate, forget about that. It's over. The championship race is gone for them. Literally, it's finished because Arsenal are well equipped this season and Liverpool clearly are not. We'll move on to Arsenal. Jacob, must have been one of the fucking best days of your life the other day. Especially for me, the biggest disappointment watching the game was just the lack of ambition shown by Spurs. Like, I get it, right? You're going away to the Emirates, but this is a local derby. Things can go out the window. We've seen really bad Man United teams, for example, take points from Man City when Man City were seen as unbeatable. Yeah. You can't just class it as a normal game. You owe it to the fans to have a go. And I thought the lack of bottle shown from Spurs, that was a fucking disgrace. And I put the blame on the manager to some degree.
Yeah, I've got to be honest with you. I almost feel for Thomas Frank a little bit. He had 10 players out, and I'm sorry, but the numbers show what Spurs are. They're a mid-table team. They're coming to the Emirates. We're fine. And bear in mind, we got 3 strikers out. Yeah, we've got our own little injury crisis, but I don't really know what else Frank could have done. I kind of feel for him a bit. It's like, what does he do? Like, what players should he have played that he didn't play? I don't get me wrong. It came across pathetic. And when Eze's first goal went in, it was Gary Neville on comms who said Spurs deserve that for what they've done, for the way they've set up. But mate, they
on the bench was Simmons, Johnson, Porro, Sarr, Muani, Tell, Gray, Bergvall. They did not have shit bench. That's not a shit bench, is it? There's options there, isn't there?
It is shit. I'll tell you that now. It is shit. I'm sorry.
Right.
Simmons comes on.
There's some talent there.
There's some talent there. But there's some talent there, but they come on the pitch. Like, Mawani's not 100% fit. Simmons is so lightweight. There were Spurs fans over the summer saying that they got the right deal getting him instead of Eze. They must have been drunk. Like, he's lightweight. He's not ready for the league. The defence, mate, the amount of people who tell me that Van der Ven gets in a Premier League 11, that Romero, what are they talking about? They're in a back 5, they're jumping out. Don't get me wrong, Eze's hat-trick, it goes down in history. It's been nearly 50 years since the last time it happened. It's unbelievable. Like, for a boyhood Arsenal fan, it's unreal. I will also say, the space they gave him, he could have had 4. He nearly had a 4th because they're just giving him space at the top of their box to take his shots.
He dropped in between that midfield and defensive line brilliantly.
Let's talk about that midfield and defensive line. They had 2 6s and a 5 2 sixes and 3 centre-backs, and he's still in acres of space.
Yeah.
It's not about the formation. They're shit. Like, you can do what you want with formations.
But that's why you got to say, well, Thomas Frank didn't set them up at all. He didn't set them up well. And I just thought that, when did they have their first shot on target? Is that the Richarlison goal?
I think it might have been, I'd have
That's
to Ryan making a save.
I can't understand. They've played better Arsenal sides and they've given a better account of themselves. I forgot it was a derby. I honestly, they didn't play their part in that. But then,
like, it's not just about, like, all right, the talent difference is clear. The mentality that they approach the game with, for me, it was, I very rarely do you see a derby game. Like, Spurs Arsenal's usually a pretty entertaining, decent derby to watch. I've never watched it, at least with Big Ange, I feel like he had a go. I don't think that they came to have a go in any way, shape or form. It was pray for a 0-0, and like, you got it. It's kind of like we do a lot of boxing content. You got to stick something on your opponent early if you're out man to give them something to worry about. Arsenal never had anything to worry. They never showed any sign of ambition there.
I'll be honest with you. Like, going into the game, I was genuinely a little bit worried because we are missing a lot of players. 3 strikers out, right? We haven't managed to get Gyökeres fit for this. We haven't got Ødegaard, who's the most creative player we've got in midfield, right? Eze's a brilliant player, but he's more of a finisher than a creator. And so going into it, and especially with a Thomas Frank team, I was like, this is going to feel like playing Brentford. They're going to turn up. They can make it tight. They can fight for every ball. But that's the difference. They might have been set up defensively, but those players just didn't want to fight.
So what you said earlier, though, what you said earlier about Ruben Amorim, about this is Manchester United we're talking about here, right? You got a certain responsibility to play a certain way. I think that could be a long-term problem for Thomas Frank, despite him being a defensively good coach historically.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Spurs fans are going to tolerate this dross if you're not getting the results as well.
Yeah.
Like, because really we're heading towards where Big Ange finished. I mean, they're just coming down and down and down as the games go by. And against Newcastle, they were not special either.
And they're not going to do anything in cups because, as you say, they don't go for teams. This is the thing. Is it at least with Ange Ball, it's like you are going to get 2 out of 10 times where it works. You manage to get your goals and you can do things like cups. Whereas with this football, you don't have the talent to get the goals. You don't have the commitment to the defensive structure to actually keep teams out. It's just kind of nothing. And similar to what I said with KG earlier, it's like, there is European football if you want it this season. Newcastle is a good example, Brian. Like, you've had some dodgy results in the Premier League, but you look at the table, it's like, this is doable for Newcastle if they can stick a run of fixtures together.
Well, you bring us on to Newcastle, mate. I mean, we played Manchester City on the weekend.
You're not going to quickly, man, because I know there's Josh is the only team that's fighting Arsenal for the title. Josh, are you in the same place?
We'll get into that, KG. We'll get into that. Let's do Newcastle first.
Good point. Because it's funny because I noticed during the Arsenal Spurs game, because to me, I picked Arsenal to win the league. I think that it's pretty much going to be wrapped up pretty quickly. But when Arsenal scored against Spurs, Joey and Josh were livid, and I was like, "What? Oh! I forgot. You guys think you're in a title race? This is great. All right, come on then." And
that's
so
just
Chelsea
unfair, isn't
currently, to be fair, are only 6 points behind Arsenal, which is the closest to them. They won comfortably against a poor Burnley side, but Chelsea are having a good season, and they've actually put some consistency together. How are you feeling at the moment, Josh?
I'm more happy than anything because I remember sitting around this table about, a month ago, and you engineered a video where you were saying that Man United were as good as Chelsea. And I just want to say for everyone that left comments on that video saying that I was salty, here's your salt. Do you know what I mean? Add it to your dinner. Add it to your dinner. Do you know what I mean? Like, let me just have my moment right now. The fact that our squads were compared is just absolutely hilarious. Man United squad have 2 injuries and they fall apart. Chelsea squad have about 18 injuries and we still were second in the league. So look, I'm happy where we are right now. KG can't come back to that.
Wait,
you're going to try.
Because you're playing Arsenal. You're playing Arsenal on Sunday. If you win that game, you're 3 points behind me. So all that good talk, what are you saying? Are you in a title race?
Mate,
are you going to do something?
It's 5 points between your teams, so be very careful, Josh. It's 5 points.
I'm going to say this now. Clip it up as much as you want to. If we beat Arsenal on Sunday, Chelsea are in a title race. Easy. Easy. And I'll explain why, right? Because as much as we've been talking about Arsenal right now, they do have some injuries coming up. Their defence, I don't think without Gabriel is as solid as it could be. And I think therefore they will concede a few more goals than they have been, even though I thought they were on for our record with him. So we'll see how long that injury lasts for. If it is 2 months, then...
You must feel like you've got a better chance than ever, really, at this point now against Arsenal.
This is the thing, right? Like, I think... whatever you're looking at, whatever team you're looking at around the top right now, they're all slightly dysfunctional in their own ways. Like you look at Arsenal, they don't have an out and out number 9 right now. They're waiting for those players to come back. They don't have their starting centre back, so that's still a worry.
You should win then, right?
So then for us,
there's a lot of stumbling here, Josh. I'm not feeling the confidence.
No, I think
you're just playing off as a boxer right now, and you're betting on the other guy.
No, listen, right. We, I think you'll remember this, Brian, because you called it out. Joey and I did a video where we said the Burnley game, out of all 3 of them, feels like it's the hardest because we can't face a lower block, right? We've got Barcelona tonight. We're playing Arsenal.
Imagine
we'll see how
Barcelona
well we do it.
And Arsenal, and you're calling Burnley the harder. That's the type of shite you can get on Joey's channel. Listen to that shite. What a load of crap.
Joey Night Podcast, please do subscribe to it for quality content.
Yeah, do subscribe to Joey, but like the way they set games up is absolutely ridiculous, man. Vince McMahon didn't promote things the way he used to. What the fuck is this?
These lot over there, yeah? This guy's a top bottle job, bro. Josh, what they do is like, last season, we're not in a title race. We're not in a title race, turns out. You're not in a title race. And because they set up and said, oh, we didn't say it was in one, it didn't matter. Like, they haven't spent money as well. Let's not forget the money that they pumped into that club. All these guys on the Suge Knight contracts, bro. And now he's got a game against Arsenal at home. And look how he looks. This guy's in a title race. We're going to wait to the end of the game to tell you how I feel about it. Say something now.
KG, just ask me one question, yeah?
Go ahead. Make it about Man United.
Who spent more net spend this summer, Chelsea or United?
I said focus on your game, Arsenal, and you focus on me. It's London Red or Blue.
Like, we keep going, Chelsea spent all this money, but you spent more money than us.
You won the Mega Cup. You're the world champions, innit? Yeah. And now, when we're asking you, are you going to win at home? You ain't got the chest. Where are you, bro?
Just to let you know, and I'm sorry to do this, KG, because I am going to out you right now, but in the gym in Saudi Arabia, KG leaves the gym and he does just say to me, I would love it if you guys won it over Arsenal.
No, I hate Arsenal.
Of course
I hate Arsenal with everything in me. I need you lot to win this game. But I know that the killer is, I've got more hope for you than you have for yourself. That's the problem.
I back ourselves. Mate, crazy. Go on, Brian.
One difference with Chelsea in the Burnley game is they did drop or rest players like Caicedo. And sometimes in the past, like against Karabag, where they've rested players, it's backfired a bit. Chelsea did show strengths and depths here, and I thought Maresca got it really right in order to preserve players. Obviously, Maresca didn't view the game quite the way Joey and Josh did. He thought, well, we can rest a couple of this, they're shit. Worry about Barcelona and Arsenal instead of
Barcelona.
Burnley.
Really compared to Burnley, let's be honest.
But no, it is impressive. And look, I do look at the goals for and against, and you look at Chelsea and you think it's a well-functioning team. And to give them their credit, without Cole Palmer, who is a massive player for them, my worry still is at the goal end of the pitch and the other goal at the end of the pitch I just don't think they've necessarily got enough firepower to win a title, despite going up against Arsenal, who aren't really blessed in that department either. But I think Chelsea have a real chance to finally make that transition from will we get Champions League, which is kind of where Newcastle have been the last few years, to we're absolutely always going to get Champions League, and now we're really trying to push up the league and take advantage of Liverpool being a mess, Man United still not getting their act together, and Man City not being the way they were. Let's go on to Man City, because they have been really good this season, and it was getting a bit, I'm sure Arsenal's arses were twitching with the way Erling Haaland's been performing. Jacob sent us a message in the group chat going, we need a fucking win today, and I was not confident because Newcastle were as bad as we've ever been under Eddie Howe against Brentford, against West Ham. And this is so classic Newcastle to look that shit against teams we are hopeful of winning and getting a run together, and then turn up against Man City and put in the best performance of the season by by a mile. And if I'm going to say why it happened, I think you can obviously look at the fact that 2 fullbacks came in. You know, Burns been forced to play fullback. Trippier obviously been playing like 3 games a week at 35 years old. It's absolutely insane. And lo and behold, Livramento and Lewis Hall come in. And I think England as well are so lucky that we have got players of this quality at fullback, because they can do everything. And it really is a photo finish as to who's better out the two. They're so good. And Lewis Hall, I've got to give extra credit for. I mean, with the ball at his feet, he's one of the best players in the whole team. He can play midfield, he can play out wide. I mean, he can play up front. He's absolutely class. And Newcastle really have missed him. And one of the main reasons, not just them in defence, that we managed to beat Man City was Malik Chow. He tackles Erling Haaland. He's running through into the box, and I don't know if you've ever seen Bobby Moore tackling Pele. It was identical. He followed him. He totally takes the ball away. Haaland hits the deck, and Erling Haaland has not been pocketed by anyone this season, and it's no coincidence that Malik Chow was the one to do it, because this lad looks like one of those young Van Dijk, Rio Ferdinand types. Of he's got the athleticism, he's got the understanding of the game, he reads the game. He brings the ball out of defence more than any other player in the Premier League. He might be the signing of the season so far, and he's going under the radar because he's playing at Newcastle, just the way, you know, Tonali and the like go under the radar. But trust me, if he had signed for one of the top clubs, they'd be talking about him like he's up there with the Arsenal defenders. I can't believe.
Do you think that you got a bit of fortune with the Foden tackle? Because that looked like a serious.
Well, that's an interesting
one.
I think that's a nasty tackle.
It could have been a penalty, but to be fair, Foden did get a shot away and he missed another fucking sitter in that game.
Anywhere else on the pitch though, Brian, that's a foul.
And fair enough. But do you know what? There are some decisions this weekend which have been a disgrace.
Handball.
Like Nottingham Forest getting that handball, it was never a handball, hit him on the chest. There's no camera angle where it shows him handballing it. And yet, again, favouritism to the big team. Manchester United, in my opinion, that little touch was nowhere near a sending off, maybe a yellow card or whatever.
We didn't do anything.
The point is the referee acts in favour. The referees act in favour of the big club all the time in the Premier League.
50 cent me.
No, wait. No, because if you go back to the Arsenal-Newcastle game, Voldemort got slapped in the face by Gabriel. Nothing was done.
That's true.
In the big clubs, it's a fucking corrupt league we're in, believe me.
He just slapped his own teammate. And we were shocked. The fans were shocked. We don't even have screens.
The referees are so quick to act in favour and to help the big clubs every fucking time. In this game, with the fact that he got the shot away first and the fact that he clips the end of his foot, I think he made a lot more out of it than when he needed to. I can understand why you'd give a penalty, but to me, I think also I can understand why he didn't give it. Like, it wasn't like a stone. If he doesn't get that ball away,
if you
and
go
he takes
to ground like
completely,
that's a pen, bro.
Okay,
if that happened to you, you're fuming. You'd be fuming.
I'm not as fuming as if he doesn't get the ball away and get the shot away first.
When are you lot playing Sunderland? Because I can't wait for that game, and I think we should watch it together, by the way.
Bring back the live stream.
Fuck off.
In that game, I think we should do that game together, honestly.
All right, I'll think about the lives. Maybe we'll bring them back. But
it's in 4 games time, boys. It's not even that far away.
That's the game. And if I see one of those tackles and he still gets a shot away, if I know what kind of swear words are coming out, you're going to be acting like it's Evan Haney fighting against me. You're going to be
But look, Newcastle could have scored 6 against Man City. It wasn't like the game depended on that. Man City fans may feel hard done by. That's fair enough. I haven't got a problem with it. I thought Man City played well. Haaland had a very good chance that he scuffed. Do you know what I mean? Funny old thing, even Erling Haaland misses chances, right? And but Newcastle could have scored 6 in that game. We deserve to win that game. 100% we deserve to win that game. Harvey Barnes missed a sitter. Voldemort, check this out for a stat. What were we in? End of November? The first goalkeeper to save a shot from Voldemort this season, Donnarumma.
Wow.
Can you believe
mental.
that? No goalkeeper has saved a shot from Voldemort in end of November. And by the way, I mean, I think Voldemort could have done better when he was through on goal, when he shot low. But the header, That was a fucking great save. Donnarumma and Erling Haaland at that end of the pitch, they're going to give City a chance this season because they're fucking world class, the pair of them.
Yeah.
I thought Newcastle looked really good. Pep Guardiola, I've got to say Harvey Barnes before I fucking move on, sorry. Harvey Barnes, 1000% is a better footballer than Anthony Gordon now. That is not, he's had, in the last year, Anthony Gordon has 1 Premier League goal in 2025. Harvey Barnes has 10. Right? It's over. It's finished.
Really?
So I don't know how on earth we're going to put Anthony Gordon as starting left winger for England when he can't even get in the Newcastle team anymore. He really needs to wake the fuck up, this kid. His career is going down the shitter.
They moved his position though. Didn't they try to play him up front and then
No, that was when we had no striker. He's 100% a left winger and he can't create or score goals anymore. Marcus Rashford is massively outperforming Anthony Gordon. Harvey Barnes, massively outperforming Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon now is getting in teams based on his little hairband and his reputation alone, mate. This kid has fucked it for himself and he needs to wake up before it's too late. We're looking at what happened with Marcus Rashford times 10 now.
To be fair though, Brian, Barnes might be playing for Scotland. Barnes has said he's happy to play for Scotland instead.
Do you know what? Occasionally he can frustrate, but you know what? In front of goal, he's quite lethal, to be fair to him. And I've got to give credit to Bruno Guimaraes because where other players like Joe Linton and Tonali, despite running around and giving their all, with the ball at their feet, they do lose it a bit. Bruno, was a sensational for the Harvey Barnes goal. And I just think Pep Guardiola lost his fucking head at that end of that game because he knew. Did you see him in the cameraman's ear screaming in the cameraman's fucking and he's lifting his headphone off, screaming into his ear. I'm like, your fucking head's gone because you knew this was a chance for you. You needed to win this to stay pace with Arsenal. And it's like, it's not even December and you're already losing your mind, mate. Fucking get a grip of yourself.
Do you know what I say though, Brian? And I like, honestly, having watched my team go to St. James's Park at this time a few times, if you could play every home game in the season at 5:30 on a Saturday with your fans half pissed, you'd win the league. I'm telling you now. As soon as I knew you had City, I knew you were playing City at home. When I saw it was 5:30, I knew you were going to win. I knew it. I hate going to your stadium at that time. I hate it. If you had to play every game at 12 p.m. on a or on a Saturday or 2 p.m. on a Sunday, you'd get relegated. It's genuinely, if you put enough brown ale in those Geordies, it is literally how much brown ale you get into your fans depends on, like, forget tactics, forget Harvey Barnes. If that fucking crowd is rocking, it is the worst. And anyone who's been to Newcastle, by the way, will tell you it's the worst ground to go to as an away fan. They stick you right at the top. It's terrifying.
You may as well not be there. Yeah, we've isolated you.
And the way your team play, the physicality in midfield, it is literally powered by that stadium. And that's why Pep gets rattled. That's why Arsenal players lose their heads there sometimes. It is a horrible ground to go to. And I think the opportunity is there for Newcastle this season to get European football again because who are you competing with? Like, you'll finish above Spurs. I don't know why United would finish above Newcastle.
They're still below us, mate.
We've been really disappointing this season.
Sunderland, they're competing with Sunderland. They can't even get above them. Don't give them all the credit.
One of the things that really sticks out, aside from the shocking performances, is not having a striker for the first 3 games put us at such a disadvantage, and we're playing catch up. If we'd have had Voldemort for those games, we would have picked up a good few points there, and we wouldn't be in the situation we are. I don't know what's going to happen because, unfortunately, like, the trust in the players right now is low because the away performances have been scandalous. So we'll see what happens. But lads, Malik Chow is he is the boy. I'm telling you now, what I'm witnessing with him, he's come in as a young lad and he's just gone, Botman, get out. Burn, get out. I'm the fucking captain now.
I'm quite looking forward to seeing how he gets on at Liverpool.
Liverpool need a defender.
It'd be quite good. Yeah,
Liverpool need a defender, so don't hype him too much.
Look, where Liverpool are going, we'll finish above those cunts. Fuck off, honestly. We'll wrap it there. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Champions League midweek. I'm excited for that. Hit the like button, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.